We shall now turn to agenda item 1B, adoption of special rules and procedures. For this item, I refer to following documents: EUR/RC70/infdoc/1, EUR/RC70/confdoc/4, through a written silence procedure developed by the 27th Standing Committee of the Regional Committee. A decision was adopted by the regional committees intersessionally to alter the arrangements for RC70, which was due to be held in Tel Aviv, Israel. Based on this decision, the SCRC, at a special session held virtually on 29th June, decided that holding a virtual de minimis session of the regional committee would be the most appropriate option in the circumstances related to the COVID-19 pandemic, allowing all delegations to attend the meeting under the same and safest conditions. The SCRC also reviewed the approved draft special rules and procedures in order to ensure a proper conduct of regional committee under virtual and de minimis format. Let me now turn to the legal counsel, Mr. Derek Walton, assisted by Dr. Egle Ganziera, Senior Legal Officer from WHO Legal Office in Geneva, to provide us with a brief explanation of the special rules and procedures. Legal counsel, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. And as the President has just explained, the special rules and procedures are set out in an annex to Conference Document 4, which sets out the decision which you are asked to take. Perhaps it's best if I explain a little bit about the content of the rules so that everybody is clear as to what the rules of the game are proposed to be. First of all, let me say that these rules and procedures were developed based on the rules and procedures which were used for the World Health Assembly on the 18th and 19th of May, which was also held virtually. They do not replace the rules of procedure of the European region, but rather they supplement and adapt them where this is needed to reflect the virtual de minimis nature of this meeting. They are complemented also by practical guidance in the guide for participants. The main provisions of the rules and procedures are as follows. First of all, in terms of the scope of application, the normal rules of procedure of the Regional Committee continue to apply unless they would be inconsistent with these special rules and procedures, in which case the decision of the Regional Committee to adopt the special rules and procedures acts as a decision under Rule 48 to suspend the relevant part of the rules of procedure. And this applies principally to issues relating to the agenda and to voting. In terms of the agenda, as you've heard, it is limited to items essential for governance continuity and strategic coordination or strategic orientation. Attendance is virtual, and virtual attendance, of course, counts towards the quorum. Member states and partners otherwise attend as normal, with the exception that non-state actors cannot take the floor. There are three different modes of intervening at the Regional Committee, each of which will be part of the official records. The first is a live statement, where 3 minutes are given on each agenda item and 5 minutes for group statements. The second is pre-recorded video statements, which can replace a live intervention, and in that case, 2 minutes per agenda item is provided. And the third option are written statements to complement or replace a live intervention. There are limits to how long such statements can be, 600 words per agenda item. It should be in a WHO working language, and it will be posted on the website of the Regional Committee. Written statements are be only means to intervene on some agenda items, namely on NSA accreditation, on matters arising from resolutions and decisions, and on progress reports, where these can only be addressed by means of a written statement. On procedural matters, points of order operate in the usual way, except that you must signal these electronically to the Secretariat. Likewise, rights of reply operate in the normal way for oral interventions. However, rights of reply to written statements must likewise be made in writing and submitted within 10 days of the meeting. Registration and credentials largely take place in accordance with normal practice, but in this case is exclusively electronic. And again, in line with normal practice, meetings are public and broadcast, except for the private meeting on elections and nominations. I need to say a word about decision-making at this regional committee, which operates largely in the same way as at the Health Assembly. First of all, consensus is the overriding principle. All decisions should, as far as possible, be taken by consensus. Technical limitations on virtual meetings mean that no voting can take place by a show of hands vote or by a secret ballot during this regional committee. So if a vote is needed, it will have to be conducted by a roll call. And I would suggest that you seek to avoid this if at all possible, as it would be a long process. Special rules apply for nominations for the Executive Board and the election to the SCRC. Here, you are again required to make every effort to reach consensus. If this is not possible, a procedure for a postal secret ballot to take place after this meeting is provided. And I should say that this follows a precedent from 1982 used in the Regional Committee for the Eastern Mediterranean to elect the regional director on that occasion. And finally, to avoid any misunderstanding, it is clarified that interpretation will, as usual, be provided in all working languages. Thank you, Mr. President. I hope that clarifies matters, but I am, of course, available to answer any questions as necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Legal Counsel. We can now consider the adoption of the proposed draft decision contained in ERU/RC70/ConfDoc/4 draft decision, special rules and procedures for virtual 70th WHO Regional Committee for Europe. Is the committee willing to adopt the proposed draft decision by consensus? I see no objection. The decision is therefore adopted.